My name is Rodney Robinson and I run the Facebook group Pendulum Dowsing and Energy Balancing. I'm not an expert on geopathic stress, but I'm going to talk about that very subject based on my experience as an alternative therapy practitioner, homeopath and acupuncturist, and a dowser for 35 years. And I've come across this noxious energy affecting people in their homes, and it's quite unpleasant. Geopathic stress is an energy that's generated within the earth, below where a house is built or a property is built, where people spend time. And if they spend a lot of time in the space above the stressed area, where the disturbance in energy occurs, then it can cause certain symptoms. The symptoms are very similar to, in my experience, what people suffer when they're electrosensitive and they're exposed to electromagnetic fields. So they can get aches and pains, inflammatory conditions, joint pains, headaches, an increased level of anxiety and apprehension, vague feelings of not being quite right, a sense of not being content, not being serene, rather as if they can't settle. There's muscular tension. Sleep is disturbed. The sleep pattern, so you're talking about the quality and quantity of sleep, and also the occurrence of nightmares, and even cases of night terrors, which I've experienced myself due to geopathic stress. So it's not a pleasant sort of force or energy to be exposed to. What can you do about it? Well, I want to focus more on the dowsing aspect because that's my field, that's where I want to pass on some tips so that you can do something to help yourself. What I can't say is that you can cure geopathic stress, like any condition. Can it be cured? We don't know. There's things you can do. Certainly you can use pendulum decrees to help to transmute negative energy into positive energy. You can use decrees to harmonise the inhabitants of a house with the energies of the house and the environment. You can neutralise the negative effects of harmful electromagnetic fields. Now, these things might not be a permanent cure. It may be that they can bring some relief. And whether a permanent cure can be achieved may well be dependent on the type of geopathic stress, because many things cause geopathic stress. Underground water flows, they are a particularly difficult area to sort out. Developments that disturb the earth around the location, so that can be earthworks, road laying, nearby railway tracks, nearby drilling, any kind of geological work like that can cause it. Certain things can cause it with regard to what is going on around an area. These are more metaphysical aspects of geopathic stress, such as negative energy from graveyards, for example. You can have ley line activity, which is another form of geopathic stress. Negative energies associated with human suffering. That might be historic. So you're going back historically, looking at what happened on the land, or it can be actually going on nearby from, say, nearby hospitals, for example, where there is human suffering and illness. So all sorts of problems. And as I say, I'm not an expert on these. I've just come across them in the course of my work. So the kind of pendulum decrees that you would use. Now, if you're not familiar with pendulum decrees, I suggest that you have a look at some of the posts on my website. The posts on my Facebook group, Pendulum Dowsing and Energy Balancing, and hopefully pick up some information there. You can also search for it on the internet as well. There's a lot of information out there. So you can take a pendulum. We want a good pendulum which has good energy associated with it. This is what we call a high vibrational pendulum, usually because of its shape. It generates high energy, high vibrational energy, which is very positive to the person using it, and that energy is also used to transmit through the intent of the pendulum user. Okay, so to harmonise an area, you basically just get the pendulum swinging in a circular way, like this. And then you make a statement, an intent. This can be an affirmation, or what can be called a command. I call them decrees. So let's use a decree now. For everybody watching this, in fact, who might be affected by geopathic stress. So I'm going to say, in the name of the highest good, neutralise the negative effects on anyone watching this video of all types of geopathic stress, only if in their highest good and the highest good will concern. And you let the pendulum just swing under its own momentum until it either comes to a stop or more usually goes to a side-to-side motion. And the kind of decrees that you may want to say if you're in a house, go to the areas where the people are being affected, whether it be a bedroom or a study, somewhere like that. And some useful decrees are: attune my body, or attune the inhabitants of this house to the local earth energies. That's a good one. Boost the healing energies of the earth. That's another one. A useful root word for a pendulum decree in this case would be harmonise. So I've got a few written down here. Harmonise underground water flows and transform its energy into healing energy. It's always a good idea, once you've neutralised a negative, to transform it into a positive. You can do that very well with decrees. You can say cancel out the negative energy of Curry grids and Hartmann grids. These are two very common forms of geopathic stress. If you look them up on the internet, you'll see they're a grid, a line of energy that runs over the whole Earth. I see them as a little bit like Earth meridians, really. It's flows of energy. If we have flows of energy through our body, the Earth has its own flows of energy too. So let's have a look at some others that might be useful. Neutralise, another good power word. Neutralise harmful energy ley lines and harmful earth energies. So there you're getting ley lines, which is another form of geopathic stress, and all other earth energies. Different forms, but it covers the two in the one decree. Neutralise harmful place memory. So this is where historically maybe some human suffering has gone on the site of a house, and that is locked in energetically to that location. So anything subsequently that is built on it will be affected by the negative energies that are stored in that area. Harmonise geopathic stress lines with my body, because you can't block necessarily, well, you certainly can't block them with pendulum decrees, but you can harmonize the energy with your own body. So what you're doing is you're increasing your body's resistance to the negativity, the negative frequencies that are being emitted by the earth. Here's another one. Harmonize interference lines, zones and fields with the environment and this property. It's a good decree to use with your pendulum. I'm sure you get the idea. You can sort of look up geopathic stress and come up with a few of your own. It's always good to use your own language. It adds a little bit of power to the decree. But what you can also do is you can act on the energies of the space of the room and the house. So you can, for example, raise the consciousness level of this house to the highest level possible. You can raise the vibratory frequency of this house to the highest level possible. So these are good decrees to sort of like put positive energy into a space where there is negative energy. So the positive energy overrides the effect of the negative. Another one, maybe, let's have a look at another one here. Change, or you can say transform or transmute, whatever resonates with you. Change harmful energy into beneficial healing energy. You don't even need to know the particular energy, just change harmful or non-beneficial, if that's a good term that resonates with you. Change non-beneficial into healing beneficial energy. Okay, that's another good one. You can also introduce a very positive colour, which is very balancing and healing, which is blue-green. You can say blue or turquoise, it doesn't matter. So you can say, change the energy of this room, or change the energy of this house or property to blue-green. And then let your pendulum swing and do it that way. So there's some tips on how to use pendulum decrees. I wonder if I've got a little bit of time to talk about ways to actually permanently cure a property. I don't think I have in this video. I'm going to have to run another video. But I'm just going to finish off by saying that maybe not in all cases can you effect a permanent cure. You may have to use decrees on a regular basis. Maybe do your own research into ways that you can introduce items into the house, symbols, various things. I've tried a few things myself with varying degrees of success. One of the things that I would think worth looking into more is organ or orgonite. This is an orgonite pyramid. I do like harmonizing shapes. And this is orgonite, which is in itself very helpful to ameliorate the negative effects of electromagnetic fields. And this one is in the shape of a pyramid, which is also balancing on a subtle energetic level. So something like that. And I have known a case where somebody who was badly affected by a cell phone tower used a similar chunk of orgonite to that and was helped very dramatically. So I think that's all that I can actually get into this video. I'm going to have to follow this up with a part 2. So see you in part 2. Thank you for watching.